This week's bite-sized history is about time, or about a timepiece anyway. I'm going to tell you about how time has transformed an elite white object in the BHS collection into a history of triumph for one of New York's early free African American communities. That carved stone is a sundial that has been at the Society since 1879. The carvings on its front indicate a connection to the Loysters, an old Dutch family who can trace their new town, today Elmhurst, Queens roots way back to the 1600s. They even owned an island. That Loyster history is pretty outdated, a rather whitewashed history of early Queens focused exclusively on an Anglo-Dutch family and their colonial origins. It's fine. It's a pretty standard history that was popular at the Society into the early 1900s. I got pretty excited though when I discovered this sundial was donated to the Society by a black man, making this one of the only early donations from a non-white donor. His name was Jacob Thompson, and census records show that he was born in New York sometime in the 18 teens. I won't lie. Early records about this donation describe Thompson in pretty casually racist language, essentially as a former slave whose ongoing loyalty to the region's white community led him to preserve this artifact. That, however, doesn't tell us anything real about him, so I decided to do some digging to figure out what was going on with the free black community in Newtown in the 1860s, around the time Thompson would have originally picked up and saved this sundial. In 1845, Newtown's free black population numbered only 376 people. These individuals, however, refused to be told that they didn't belong, even by the most powerful man in the country. Before signing the Emancipation Proclamation, Abraham Lincoln was very interested in the idea of colonization, of sending black Americans to Africa or South America as a solution to the slave problem. In August 1862, Lincoln actually met with a black delegation at the White House to try and convince them to embrace this idea. When the black people of Newtown heard the details of this meeting, they responded forcefully. At a community meeting held on August 20th, Newtown's black residents drafted a powerful statement condemning Lincoln's colonization plans, later published in The Liberator, the nation's leading abolitionist newspaper. In no uncertain terms, they staked their claim to live in Newtown, arguing that as loyal Union colored Americans, they had aided the nation in her growth and progress and contributed to her general prosperity. So why should they leave? It's a great read and a powerful smackdown. Knowing what we do now, we might understand Jacob Thompson's preservation of the sundial not as an attempt to honor old Newtown, but to stake his claim and to declare Newtown as rightfully his thanks to decades, if not centuries, of labor and strife. Unfortunately, much of Newtown's early black history, like New York City's, was buried and forgotten. We've seen it time and again, the rediscovery of spaces of African American life. Weeksville in Brooklyn, the African Burial Ground in Lower Manhattan. The rediscovery of a 19th century African American burial ground in Elmhurst in 2011 is a stark reminder that there are many more black histories out there to uncover and preserve. That wraps up this week. As always, check out my reading recommendations if you'd like to learn more, and until next time.